Hello everyone and welcome back to my B&B Everyday YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Zend and Hope are having a converse in the Forrester living room. Zend says it has been an honor being her lead developer. He tells her to have faith, just as Steffy arrives on the scene wanting to converse about hope for the future. She looks at Hope and suppositions he's formerly heard about the end of the line. Zend prodigies were his job being phased out. He asks if this is how she treats family. At Forrester, Steffy claimed to Ridge and Taylor that she advised Hope about what would be if she meddled with her hubby and her family, and she had to fire her. Taylor assured Steffy she set the boundaries. It was Hope who crossed the line. Still, Ridge bothered about the blowback and how Brooke would take it. Ridge reiterated his support for Steffy, and she expressed happiness that she was getting his full support. Steffy also prompted her father not to let the Logans manipulate him. At Brooke's, Hope again told Carter that Steffy had fired her, and when Brooke joined them, she told them the whole story. Hope admitted she served up a reason for Steffy to fire her on a server. At one point, Hope wondered if she indeed wanted to return to Forrester. Effects had been so bad there for so long that perhaps it was no longer the place for her. Brooke was stunned when Hope told her that Ridge did nothing to stop Steffy. In fact, he told her to go. And also Hope had to do the walk of shame in front of all these workers that she admired. Brooke couldn't believe Ridge didn't indeed consult her or anything. She was sure he wasn't going to let this stage. Hope, in turn, didn't want this to blow back on Carter. That's why she didn't throw him under the machine. Steffy would turn that nugget of information into commodity differently altogether. Meanwhile, Carter said he advised Ridge about Steffy losing her perspective, and he wouldn't let them do this. After Will told Katie about Hope's blasting, Katie told Steffy and Taylor that she knew what it looked like, but also knew it was a misreading. Hope had explained everything to her. Taylor and Steffy refocused out how Hope toyed with Thomas's feelings and kissed Finn at the party. She did what she did and now she was out. At Brooke and Ridge's place, Brooke told Ridge she knew everything and that she must have knew that he allowed Steffy to fire Hope. Unfortunately, Brooke promised to keep Carter's name out of it, and now she can't clear up this whole mess. All Brooke could say was that Ridge was completely wrong about this. Back at Forrester, Will and Elektra ran into each other again. Elektra broke the news that she'd be working there now that Forrester has a jewelry line again. Will easily enjoyed hearing this, and he offered her help should she and Ivy need it. The two kept looking at each other adorably. Meanwhile, Hope and Carter talked about being outlanders at Forrester. In addition, Carter couldn't believe that his so-called friend Ridge could just allow Steffy to fire Hope. He abominated that the Forresters looked at the Logans as inferior. Carter also abominated that he wasn't there for her at the services, but he was there for her when it signified. At home, Steffy told Finn that she had no choice but to end Hope's run at Forrester for what she did. Finn understood. He said he'd always support his woman. He was a little shocked that she got relief of Hope for the future, but eventually he supported whatever she did. Once the Hope talk was over, they made love and enjoyed this quality time they had together. Do you know who wasn't enjoying their time together? Brooke and Ridge. Brooke allowed of Hope as her heritage every bit as much as Ridge's study of Steffy as the future of Forrester. When Brooke said she allowed of Hope and Steffy as equals, Ridge incontinently disavowed her of that notion. He wondered how she could indeed suppose that. It wasn't indeed close. Amelie Brooke wanted Ridge to support her, hear to her and recognize her. She wanted him to believe her, but he didn't. Meanwhile, talking to Carter, Hope played up what she allowed. Was the biggest reason Steffy got relief of her that she was a Logan and her mama committed the ultimate sin. She fell in love with Ridge Forrester. Carter told her exactly who she was, and that she was no longer alone. She had him on her side. And when Carter told Hope he loved her, she didn't respond by kind at first. She wondered how it was that he'd been standing right in front of her, and she didn't see it. But now she saw him and she indeed said she loved him too. Also, Hope and Carter took effects to the coming position. Carter was on a charge. He demanded to clear effects up with Steffy and Ridge, and he promised Hope he'd do everything he could to get her job back. Meanwhile, Brooke and Katie filled in Zend on everything, and from the way he sounded he empathized more with Logan's side of effects. After all, he was the lead developer at HFTF and now the line was cancelled. At Forrester, Steffy and Ridge told Eric what had happened with Hope. He was worried. While he admitted that Steffy had every right to defend her marriage and her point of view, he also said that what she did was particular. Elektra walked in on Will, Lainey and Tony. The girls weren't veritably nice to her. After they left, Will and Elektra talked, flirted and made eyes at each other. Elektra mentioned how Lainey and Tony didn't feel to like her. Obviously, he didn't watch about what those girls had to say. Hope ultimately joined Brooke, Katie and Zend. She mentioned how bad she felt for Zend. After all, as supereminent developer, he was talented enough to take HFTF to new heights. Still, she said that Carter sounded determined to talk sense into Ridge and Steffy, and to get them to see that reversing their decision was the stylish thing for everyone. When Carter arrived, he told Steffy they demanded to see that HFTF was a gateway to the youngish guests, and that making particular opinions grounded on the whole Logan versus Forrester contest wasn't the way to go. Likewise, it wasn't only a lapse in judgment but also a lapse in leadership. He wouldn't allow that. Steffy looked stupefied. At the Forrester services, Steffy had enough of Carter's rebellion and his passionate defense of Hope and HFTF. So she walked out. Soon later, Steffy and Zen got some FaceTime with Hope in the room. Zen wanted to know if Steffy had allowed anything about him when she made the decision. After all, he was a Forrester too. He wanted to know if he was ever going to get anywhere in the company. Formerly again, Hope and Steffy brazened each other. Hope wanted to know how it felt that she wasn't the only one hurt by her decision. Steffy turned it back on Hope and said that she had put them in this position. Meanwhile, Carter and Ridge got into it at the services. Ridge expressed how sick he was of talking about Hope. Still, Carter continued to push his narrative, and also he doubled down on Ridge not hearkening to his luxury brand ideas. He allowed. They were stylish musketeers sisters. Ridge walked out on Carter as well. While Katie visited with Bill and mentioned how he must be lonely in that big house now that Poppy and Luna no longer live there, Poppy visited Luna in jail. Luna said she appreciated her mama coming. Poppy disburdened her pain on the son she could slightly look at. Latterly, Luna asked Poppy about Bill and wanted to know how he was. Poppy let her son know that her kissing Bill enough much sealed the deal for her and Bill. They're no longer together. And when Poppy left, Luna smiled creepily. And she kept that smile on her face when she was back behind bars. As for Bill, he spotted a letter Luna transferred him from jail. He opened it and read all about Luna missing him, and how he was the man she respected the most. He didn't keep the letter. Rather, he burned the letter and tossed it in his fireplace. Thank you for watching this video. And do not forget to like, comment and subscribe.